So no IFS and IFS. Oh my God. All right, oncoming traffic, watch. Watch the corners. Oh, wow. All right, so I am inside a 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 PE product enhancement model, and I will be comparing IFS Intelligent Front Light System with this PE to that of the original Ioniq 5. So let's go. This is the light and high beam, light, high beam. So let's go. I will be driving the precisely exactly the same course, hopefully at the same speed as well. On my way up, I will have the lights on, interior lights on, so you get the idea during the nighttime. And also on my way down, I will turn off the light, so you also get the idea. This is the good old regular headlights, high beam, just manually operating it. And here it goes, the IFS. Without the IFS. Without the IFS. And I'll set it at the automatic, so if there is any oncoming traffic, the light will actually shut off automatically so that it does not bother the oncoming traffic. So I am very familiar with IFS. It was actually Hyundai Tucson that got the IFS first, before this Ioniq 5 PE even did. Well, you get the idea. It is really, really practical and functional. I don't know if the video is capturing it or you are seeing it on the video, but if you do look at the headlights, you would actually see a bit of a vertical lines in between, meaning the lights are actually broken. So each of those lights, broken bars, actually indicate. So you see, I will actually get really close to that wall. Okay, so IFS actually turned off, and we'll come back up again momentarily. There we go. Wow. Each of those lights will actually turn on and off accordingly, allowing the car to delicately control the high beam against the oncoming traffic as well. I want to do some spirited drives here, but again, safety first, everybody. I might be able to do some runs during the daytime, but again, I came down here to operate and show you the IFS, Intelligent Front Light System. So I think it's going to be a very comprehensive and thorough video making the comparison, because I am driving the same Ioniq 5, and this is Ioniq 5 PE product enhancement model back to back on the same course, so you get the perfect idea. Having this IFS on versus turning it off, manual high beam, so it is essentially the same high beam as the IFS, as you can see. So IFS, manual, IFS. So it's all same. It's not like you get more visibility using the high beam or doing it manual. No, it's the same thing. However, of course, IFS is all operated automatically, so you don't have to worry a thing about operating the lights whatsoever. No IFS, IFS. Wow, day and night difference, literally. You have the visibility that you just don't with a regular headlights, right? And I actually have reviewed Ioniq 5 on this very same course. I even did a bit of a drift runs even. I'm thinking whether I should do the same with this car too. If chances permitting, I will do so. But it really brings me back. Can't believe it's already been like 3 years. Oh, the interactive pixel lights. So you see, I just noticed the interactive pixel lights also change color when you put the car into drive, the reverse, and parking. All right, well, let's get moving. As you can see, the interior lights are off and going back on the same road. Perhaps I will run. So no IFS and IFS. Oh my God, look at this. This versus that, right? This versus that. Just because we're getting some beautiful interior lighting here, so I want to change the drive mode too, so you get to see all that red sports drive, sports mode. So nothing in particular changes except for the some interactive pixel lights we see. So sport mode, okay, so the color still all stays the same color except when it's making the animation. Again, I can never get enough of this IFS. Wow. Look at this. This versus that. Alright, oncoming traffic, watch. So you see the lights turning off, and after we pass it, look at that, comes back up again. Definitely a tech worth to have. It really makes a huge difference during the nighttime. So I noticed that with the iPedal, the brake lights actually react a little slower. So the moment I take my foot off the accelerator, it does not necessarily turn off. I am actually pushing a bit of acceleration here and there. The light would actually light up solid. So right now I am giving a slight input on the motor. I think it's because it's going to be blinking too much if it's too sensitive. So Hyundai actually had put a conservative settings, if you will, on the foot brake lights. So my foot off, foot on, off, on, off, on, off. So you see the delay here? So it's not too slow or too fast. I think there is good amount of buffer in between the brakes and lights. Given the fact that we are going on a downhill, we tend to have a bit of more visibility because of the light angle, but it cannot beat the IFS. Look at this, wow. I will meet you back in the original Ioniq 5 pre-product enhancement model and I'll tell you about it. All right, so back on the same road as you can see, going up. Well, I'll do the opposite this time. So going up, the lights are off, interior lights are off, high beam, headlight, high beam, headlight, high beam off. And actually this is also that automated high beam that would actually turn off. Look at that. So oncoming traffic gone, it should turn back on right now, just like that. So it is just on-off button for this light, this version. So without the IFS, as you just saw, it only turns off and on the high beam. However, IFS actually delicately turns off and on the headlight, as we all just saw. I actually really wanted to save my sitting experience of this original first Ioniq 5 right before I actually do a side-by-side comparison, because what I have been driving Ioniq 5 PE for over 1,000 kilometers, so I do really have a good idea of what that car drives like. So I was going to make a straight comparison back to back. Might as well just tell you a little bit about it. Oh, so there are a few oncoming traffic now. So it turns off the headlight, turns off the high beam, and turns back on, just like that. So you probably just see the difference immediate differences on the monitor screen already. We are driving the same course. You probably can see the same as what I am seeing and experiencing on the video. Hopefully the video is doing a good job. That is actually the resolution on the display here. I can definitely feel that the PE model has a definite resolution upgrade on the monitor during the nighttime. It could be the camera, it could be the display, but most likely it's the camera too. So I see a lot of noise on the display. There's another oncoming traffic. Turns off, turns off, and turns back on. It also does take quite a lot of time for the high beam to get back on. So I think it takes a good 2 seconds, don't you think? I do see a clear difference between the resolution of this monitor or camera on this Model 2 PE. All right, well, now let's turn on the interior light. I think we got good amount of no light interiors. Headlights on, headlights off, on, off, on. Oh, and let me also test out the iPedal too. Okay, so it is quite the same. But okay, I do feel that the lights are actually lighting up relatively faster on this model. So off, on, accelerator off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. So a little bit slightly different, but it could be a car difference. So I wouldn't really say that there is much of a difference. So the speed actually has to do something with how fast the light turns off or on. And all the infotainment system, the UIs here, it's a bit different. As you can see, there is no pixelated lights. It is just a plain cover, so we don't see that fancy different sport mode and different drive mode lighting up. So it is only the graphics on the screen that will make changes. So no pixel lights in the middle. No high beam, off, high beam, off. Let's go. Yeah, especially on corners like this, I pretty much have no high beam on the corners. It is just the straight lines that the light is shooting out because it's not an adaptive headlight, as we know. So when you are making corners and turns, so be the judge for yourself. Just I will include the footage right next to one another so you can actually see how much of a difference that each car or IFS has. Off, on, off, on, off, on. So I do feel a very, very big difference in between, especially the cornering, the visibility at corners and turns. Since the high beam is really focused on the straight lines, so each of the sides, the corners, are actually relatively left darker when you're making corners. There is no high beam whatsoever right over there, but that is where I need the high beam the most, right? Of course, it's no problem when I am driving on a straight line. I mean, I do see clear all the way up to there, but the difference comes in to a huge play when we are making corners and turns. Watch the corners. Oh, wow. Big difference, especially during the night drive and nighttime and when there is no lighting like the road that I am on right now. So that is the reason why I wanted to come down here and make this comparison video, because I knew it is going to be great. Again, watch the corners. Oh, wow. So IFS, Intelligent Front Light System, is not just a fancy tag Hyundai put to brag about something. No, it is actually a safety feature, I would want to say. Again, IFS, it operates all automatically on its own, so you don't need to worry about your Ioniq 5 shooting high beam at the oncoming traffic. So it was first Ioniq 6 that got the IFS first on Hyundai brand. And then the next one was Tucson facelift hybrid. And so there we go. You see, it turns off really quick. Even Santa Fe did not get the IFS just yet. All right, so that is it for today's video. I was just going to make this video a part of Ioniq 5 review, but I have a feeling that this will be a video of its own because it does take some footage for you to see it for yourself. High beam off, high beam on, and watch the corner turn again. Well, we now have some lights, street lights here, so it's not bad, but we all saw it. So look at this, look at the corner now. I don't really get much of a visibility. We all just saw how IFS is really effective, how it works on pitch black conditions and when there is no light. All right, that's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe Cars in Korea if you did, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. I think this is the first video without my face on the video. You know what I mean? Even that sound is different. To a huge play when we are making corners and turns. Watch. Yeah, huge difference. Big difference, especially during the night drive and nighttime and when there is no lighting like the road that I am on right now. So that is the reason why I wanted to come down here and make this comparison video, because I knew it is going to be great. Again, watch the corners. Oh, wow. So IFS, Intelligent Front Light System, is not just a fancy tag Hyundai put to brag about something. No, it is actually a safety feature, I would want to say. Again, IFS, it operates all automatically on its own, so you don't need to worry about the car being, so you don't need to worry about your Ioniq 5 shooting high beam at the oncoming traffic. As much as I want to do the test, I mean, it's going to be really difficult, but I did not have any complaint from the oncoming traffic all this time I've been using the IFS. Because trust me, in Korea, if you have high beam on, the oncoming traffic will flash at you. So once again, therefore it only means that IFS works flawlessly, beautifully, and I always have the IFS on whenever I hop inside a car that has one. So it was the Tucson facelift. So it was first Ioniq 6 that got the IFS first on Hyundai brand. And then the next one was Tucson facelift hybrid.